Hey everybody, welcome back to Kill by Daylight. During the 6th anniversary stream a few weeks ago, Behavior announced that they were going to be shaking up the meta by changing a whopping 40-ish perks. Over the next two videos, I'm going to be going over what perks I would change and how I would change them. I've chosen 18 killer perks and 20 survivor perks because I couldn't choose just 2 more killer perks. Because let's be fair, there are a lot of killer perks and a lot of survivor perks that just need complete reworks, not just a little fine-tuning. And I'm not going to do that right now. But Behavior have actually revealed 39 perks that they will actually be changing. And I have a theory as why it's not the 40 they said, and that is that they're changing boons in general and not just a singular boon perk. Fingers crossed I'm right on that one. Probably not. There's probably gonna be some big wacky reveal that the 40th perk is... who cares? But shockingly, both of our lists share quite a bit of overlap. I think there's like 20 perks out of the 39 they showed off that we actually have in common, which is pretty neat. Great minds think alike. Or I guess in this case it would be stupid minds that don't know what they're doing think alike. I'm not going to be making big changes to any of these perks. I know people might make similar videos to this, and they might make a change to a perk, just changing it completely, removing the perk's identity in the process. I'm not going to be doing that because, one, like I said, I'm not going to think that hard about Dead by Daylight. I'm just not going to do that. I put enough brain power into this one as is, and it's I'm pretty happy with some of it. And B, changing a number is easy, and Behavior loves easy changes. They're not going to change a perk completely. I mean, they wouldn't. Would they? Would they make Distortion an incredibly overpowered survivor perk, making it something Jeff Johansson, my boy, can be proud of? No, they absolutely won't. I'm also going to keep most of these changes middle of the road, because Behavior said they want to add more diversity in loadouts. So they're probably not going to nuke any perks, so I'm not going to kill off any of the perks. Even though I would love for healing perks and second chance perks to just drop dead. Probably not going to happen though. This is the killer-sided video. It should be in the title somewhere, alluding to it. The next video will be survivor-sided video. The preamble that I just said, don't be shocked if it shows up in the survivor video, because I'm not repeating what I just said. It's just easier to cut, paste, go. Shouldn't need to be said, but these are all my opinion. Keyword, opinion. I've noticed a lot of people don't know what that means when it comes to some of my videos, mostly the opinion-based ones. So I'll say it again, this is my opinion. Don't get angry at it. It's okay. We can have different opinions. That's what makes everything beautiful. But if you do enjoy these videos or agree with my changes, like this video. And maybe leave it open in whatever web browser you're using, because I am absolutely going to be revisiting this and these videos when they actually reveal the actual changes to see if I got any of them right. I think I might have a bunch of them correct. We'll have to see though. Also share it with everyone. Share it on your socials and hell, tag Behavior in it. Just to be neat. Let's start with the killer nerfs and then go to the killer buffs. Start with the downers, end with the uppers. Just makes sense. Especially since that last upper is a doozy. But let's start with the nerfs and start with the 4 perks that they called out specifically that are very concerning to me, because I do not know why they're changing one of them. The other 3 I could see why. The 4th one I'm not sure, but let's start from the top. Pop goes the Weasel. Everyone's second favorite regression perk, I think. I love it. I love it. My change is the percentages, changing the percentage of gen progress lost when you use Pop Goes the Weasel. Right now, you hook somebody, you walk over to a gen, you kick it, that generator immediately loses 25% of its progress. My nerf is to go from 25% progress to 20% gen progress lost. The gen will lose, instead of a quarter of its progress, a fifth of its progress. That is very plausible for them to do, because I do not see them changing the duration of the perk, because you have a little timer once you hook somebody to go use that perk on a gen. I don't see them changing it because it's currently in a very good spot time-wise. So I don't see them doing that. I see them reducing the gen regression, which I think will be a big thing. They called out a lot of the gen regression perks, and I'm like, oh no, you're gonna nerf all of them without touching toolboxes, right? Can't have anything nice here. Can't do that. No. Every gen regression perk needs to be nerfed. Oh, I know probably some of them are gonna get buffed, but I don't feel good about a lot of the perks that are on that list that they showed off. Hopefully if it is a middle of the road thing, like this one, like Pop, then I think it will be fine, right? Next up, Corrupt Intervention, another favorite of mine. Currently, it blocks the 3 furthest gens from your spawn point for a whole 120 seconds, a full 2 minutes. What I think they should do is go from blocking the 3 furthest gens from you to just 3 random gens across the map. 3 random ones. Because sometimes you spawn into a map in a weird location and it just does that anyway. I've spawned on in the middle road on Dead Dog Saloon, right near the saloon, and I've had like the gen behind one of the houses blocked, the gen by the windmill blocked, and then one just like right in the middle of the cactus patch blocked. Completely random, so just do that. What they're probably gonna do is nerf the duration, because right now 120 seconds, that's a very long time. I could see them bumping it down to 100 seconds. Hopefully not, because Corrupt right now, good. And since you won't give us the start of game collapse you promised about 4 years ago, this has to do. Unless you make it base kit. That would be the most confusing thing you could do, but I would approve of it. Next, Hex Ruin, everybody's favorite gen regression perk. We're gonna keep this one short and sweet. I'm just gonna fine-tune the percentages. Once again, that's all this is basically we're gonna be doing, is changing percentages. Currently it's 100, 150, 200% auto regression. I'm changing it to 100, 125, 150% auto regression. You don't have to kick a gen still, it auto regresses like it normally does. It's just doing it at 150% regression rate instead of the 200. Yeah, it's not as good as double the regression rate, but 1.5 times is still pretty freaking fast. Now, if they decide to rework how hexes work and like make them good, then Ruin will be strong at 150% regression rate. So I think this is a middle of the road pick that they're probably gonna do, right? They're just taking tier 2 and making it the tier 3, right? I think that's all they're gonna do. I think that's all they're gonna do with most of these perks. So I'm not really worried about the gen regression. You're still gonna get a lot of regression out of these perks. It's just gonna be a little less, right? If they nerf toolboxes and brand new part, then it won't really matter all that much and the game will actually be in a healthy state. So I'm excited to see what they change, you know? I'm not really going like, oh man, it's gonna suck. No, I'm curious. There's a lot on that list and I'm like, how are you gonna change NOED behavior? Spoilers, I've got an idea for it, but what are you gonna do? Pretty exciting. I eagerly await that list, that nerf and buff list, I guess I should say. But that's Ruin. Next, the one I'm scratching my head why still for, it even broke my English for a minute there. You see that? BBQ and Chili. I don't know why they're going to be nerfing this. It's used a lot by everyone who can use it, because blood points are useful on every killer. Like, that's why people are using it. It's the blood point gain, right? You get 100% more blood points at the end of the trial. That's really good. I don't understand why you're gonna nerf it. Hell, maybe you know, maybe buff it. Maybe I got this all wrong. Maybe you're just gonna make it God tier. Probably not. I don't know why. So I've got some choices here. Let's go over them. Number 1, don't. Don't's a good one. It's the most balanced perk you have ever created. It stops people from tunneling because you have to hook each survivor one time. It stops people from camping the hook because you see somebody in the corner, you go, I'm gonna go get that person now. Monkey brain, go good. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. If you're holding me to the fire here and I have to nerf this thing, I have 2 choices. First one is more doable than the second. So it's, you hook somebody and you see survivor's auras far away from you for 3 seconds. What it is now is 4 seconds. It's just taking a second off. Not that big a deal. You hook somebody, you turn around, you go, they're right there, and you beeline for it, right? Simple as that. The other one is increasing the distance survivors need to be from the hook to be revealed. Right now it's 40 meters from the hook. I would make it 46 meters away from the hook. An extra 6 meters, that's a lot of space. That means if you're being sent to Midwich or Leary's, Leary's you can get some use, but like Midwich, depending on where you hook them on Dead Dog, you're not seeing shit. So I don't think that one's very likely. The third option, and I think this is what they will do, I think there's 1 survivor perk, 1 killer perk that's going to be made base kit each. I think barbecue is it. Not the reveal stuff. Because this is what Pixelbush recommended on Twitter and what his prediction is. And it's make the blood point bonus base kit on every killer. So you hook all 4 survivors once and you get 100% blood points at the end of the match. Simple. I'll stop using it because I use it because of the blood points mostly. The reveal telling me where to go next is good, but there are other perks that do way better. Like Throwing Tremors is really, really good to tell you where to go next. That's the only one that comes to mind right now. But if you just make the blood point gain base kit, that opens up an entire perk slot for me to use on something else. So I'm all for that. So I think that's what they'll do. I think that's what they're gonna do. Next up, Pain Resonance. I've only started using this perk in the most recent episodes of becoming a Plague Main. Not the anniversary one, but like episode 4. It's pretty good. I only got like, I think I only use it at green tier. I got it to purple tier, tier 3. It's really good. Really good. You hook somebody on a Scourge hook, and the gen with the most progress instantly loses 15% of its total progress, and it starts regressing. That's really good. Something to note, they have both Scourge hooks, at least 2 Scourge hooks on their list, Pain Resonance and whatever the Pinheads one is. So I'm curious what they're going to change with that one, but this one I think they're going to go from 9, 12, 15% to 8, 10, 12% regression. Again, we're ending on that middle line, that tier 2 out of 3 tiers. So, tier 2 right now is 12%. I think they're going to make tier 3 12%. Again, it's the simplest thing they could do. It's the easiest thing they can do, and I think that's what they're going to do. Next, Distressing. I love this perk on Doctor because it's really good. It currently increases your terror radius by 26%. My change is changing it from 26% to a whopping, a devastatingly low 25%, because really, behavior, why would you trigger everyone's OCD? What the actual hell is wrong with you? Every other percentage thing in this game, for the most part, is by 5s. Why 26? That's such an odd number to choose. You're evil. Just evil. The legit thing I would change about it, outside of that, because that is very legit, that I see that perk and go, why? Papa, why? I would let the blood point bonus you get from it, because it, you gain 50% extra blood points in the deviousness category. You're using it on Doctor, he doesn't need that help. He hits that automatically, basically. You start the game and your deviousness is already maxed. I would let that bonus exceed the 8k cap at the end of the game. Just so you get a little more blood points at the end of the game for scoring deviousness, right? So it increases it by, I think it's 50% currently. Well, that would just give you an extra 4k, getting 12k blood points in deviousness. That's not a lot of blood points. 4k, that's one, yellow in the blood web. That's nothing. So just do that. This one comes up once more in this and once in the survivor tiers, so when I say let BP bonus exceed the 8k cap at the end of the game, this is what I mean. I think it's pretty easy to understand. Next, Tinkerer. It's a really good perk. I really like Tinkerer, but I do admit it is pretty powerful in its current state. So currently, when a gen hits 70% completion, you get a notification. You get undetectable status for a whopping 16 seconds currently at max rank. My change would be not the time, because the time, 16 seconds, is a pretty decent time, especially on some big maps. But I would change it from 70% gen completion to 75 gen completion percentage. I don't think we're going to go back to the 85% because that's a lot, and then you get really no value out of it. But 75 is 3/4 of the gen done. So I think that is a sweet spot. I don't think we go to 80, but I think they move it from 70 to 75%. That's just my guess. What they'll probably do is wind up nerfing the duration of undetectable status, probably down to 14 seconds or maybe even 12 seconds. We'll see. I don't know. Next up, I mentioned it before, NOED. I hate this perk. I really hate this perk. It's a crutch perk. I know the community is split 50-50, but this is a crutch perk, absolutely. I've lost games as Survivor where I got chased a bunch, he couldn't hit me, I looped the hell out of him, and at the end of the game I died because the gates were open and he caught me with a random M1 and he had NOED. And my friends, my teammates just left because, oh no, NOED. It's a crutch perk for bad players or players that are just starting out. I should say that one. Because not everybody who uses NOED is a bad player. Some of them are just memeing. Or it's on a bad killer. My suggestion is add a requirement. Like, you have to hook at each survivor at least one time. So it requires at least 4 hooks in the match. So killers that are just learning the game are encouraged to get better, to get at least 4 hooks in a match. Because I've played matches against killers that only have 2 hooks, and I'm one of those hooks at the end of the game that is dead on first hook. And it sucks. So adding a requirement encourages bad players to get good. And that's a good thing, because then you have better players, right? You're not just sitting on a crutch perk. I would also remove the 4% movement speed bonus. Killers already go faster than survivors. I don't think they need more help in catching their prey, especially if they have an insta-down. So yeah. And to kind of counterbalance those 2 nerfs, the adding a requirement, not really a nerf, but then again it is, I would have it always spawn no matter what. Right? The enemy team can cleanse all 5 dull totems in the match. Boom. You can't do it anymore. But once that last gen is popped, it will spawn a new lit totem. Maybe make it so it spawns it wherever a dull totem was destroyed. So it just replaces that dull totem. But it will spawn a new lit totem if there are none available. Is a good way to put it. Now we move on to the last nerf. And this is not so much a nerf, it's a rework. Remember when I said I wasn't putting that much brain power into this? This is the big brain one, okay? Insidious. Bubba's favorite meme perk. Currently, you stand still for 2 seconds, you get undetectable status until you move. My change is standing still for 4, 3, or 2 seconds, depending on the tier, grants undetectable status. But if you stand still for longer than 10, 9, 8 seconds total, you lose undetectable status. Right there will stop basement camping and just hook camping in a corner. You stand still for 2 seconds, and you gain undetectable status. Well, if you stand still for an additional 6 seconds, you lose it automatically, no matter if you've moved or not. So Bubba's camping in a corner, he's sitting there. Once he stands there for 8 seconds, his terror radius comes back immediately. So your survivor friends know, oh, okay, he's there. Maybe add a cooldown on it. No, I don't think you could, but you maybe could do it. I don't know. Secondly, undetectable status lingers for an additional 5, 6, or 7 seconds after moving. Now, the 5, 6, or 7, they could program it so you stand still for 2 seconds, you gain that undetectable status, and then you move, so you have that, the time that you would have spent standing still, you keep it for when you move. I know it's a bad way of describing it, but that's kind of how I'm wording it, weirdly. Like, you stand still for 2 seconds, you stand still, and the perk lights up, right, for 2 seconds, and then it starts to tick down for an additional 6. Well, if you move, you still have that timer going. So it creates more big brain moves, big brain play, that you can just play with it, right? I want to encourage more big brain plays with Insidious instead of Bubba chainsaw and corner camping. That's stupid. Let's move on from that. Do the buffs. We're gonna speed around this because I'm looking at OBS and it says like 23 minutes. Hoo boy. Killer buffs though. Shadowborn. I don't care what you changed. Just add a POV slider for killers. That's literally what Shadowborn does. Just make it base kit. Just let us choose make it a slider in the options menu. Done. Dying Light. Currently, the Obsession gets a 33% speed bonus to several actions. My suggestion is decrease that from 33% to 25%. 33% is a lot. 25%, still a lot, but way more manageable. Overcharge, which is on their list, by the way. Currently, you kick a gen. The next survivor to touch it is faced with a tremendously difficult skill check. If they fail it, that generator loses 5% more progress. An additional 5% progress lost. My change is from 5% to 8%. So they fail that, they lose 8% additional progress lost. Simple. Beasts of Prey. I'm tackling actually 2 of Huntress's so much useful, such wow perks. Beast of Prey. Currently, you chase a survivor, you get Bloodlust, and you get the undetectable status. But once Bloodlust is gone, you lose that undetectable status. My change is that effect lasts for 5 seconds after you lose Bloodlust. So you can be in chase, see somebody out in the open that's injured, drop chase, go chase them, and get the surprise on them. I think that's a pretty good buff. This is the other one where it's let the BP bonus exceed the 8k cap at the end of the game. This one is for hunting. Just a little bit more blood points is fine. Next up, Territorial Imperative. Yes, the basement perk. Currently, you see the aura of everybody in the basement when you're 32 meters away. One, I would make it so you can see the aura of the basement, like the basement hooks. I don't know if we would add a range to that, or it's just like you could see it no matter where you are on the map. Like I don't know. I don't know how you would do that, but that's my idea for the first part of it. You see the aura of the basement. Whatever that means to behavior is what it means. Secondly, you see the aura of survivors leaving the basement for 4, 5, or 6 seconds. So once they hit the floor of, let's say, basements and shack, once they hit the shack's floor, like that plane, you see their aura for upwards of 6 seconds. That gives it a little more synergy with a lot of things. Like, you could just be walking, you're like 32 meters away, you still have that range thing there, and you just see somebody's aura pop up in the leaving the basement. You go, oh, okay, they're over there, let me go get them. It adds a little more initiative, and you can be like, oh, they got caught out in the open, leaving the basement. If I down them there, well, it's basement time. I think that's a neat little change that would make Territorial Imperative not fucking useless. Next up, remember me. This one is simple. Currently, you have, every time you hit the obsession, you get time added on to the exit gate opening for upwards of, I think, 16 seconds. I think every time you hit them, it's 4% or 4 seconds added. I would remove the obsession requirement. Anytime you basic attack a survivor, you gain a token, and the percentages stay the same. I think just remove the obsession thing, because that's kind of cumbersome and tedious. I don't like it. Next up, Bloodworn. Yep, we're tackling 2 Freddy perks. Currently, the exit gates need to be opened for Bloodworn to be activated. My change is simply the exit gates are powered, activates it. And then everything works the same way, right? You hook somebody, even though the gate is closed, well, the entity will block the exit gate once it is opened for 60 seconds. So as soon as they go and the gate's open, well, Bloodworn's activated. You suddenly have more time to play. That's a Freddy reference. I think it works. It stops the meme builds, yes, of, you know what, I'm gonna knock your friend down, take him far away, drop him on the ground, you're gonna come save them, and I'm gonna drain that nice little timer at the top for the endgame collapse. And I'm gonna wait till it gets about halfway, because that's 60 seconds, and then I'm gonna hook him, and I'm gonna watch you in the exit gate as you die to the entity. It stops that, but also allows you to have a little bit of extra time to maybe secure 1 or even 2, maybe 3 kills before Bloodworn stops activating. I think that is a good buff. Next, Coulrophobia. Yes, this is on their list. My suggested change, currently, survivors in your terror radius suffer from a 50% heal speed penalty. My change is adding a flat radius of 44 meters. So even stealth killers can use this, and I think it adds a little bit of mind games to that, right? Ghostface uses it, you know it's a Ghostface. Well, you're sitting in the corner, you're healing, you're touching yourself with your circle of healing, you dirty, dirty survivor. And then that nice little clown logo pops up in your corner, you go, oh fuck. Oh, he's near. Did I just enter his radius? Or is he closer than, I don't know how close he is, there's no heartbeat, oh god, he's in Shroud. Should I stop healing? Is he currently stalking me? Oh no, oh god. I think it adds some mind games, some maybe Coulrophobia, not really because that's the fear of clowns. But adding a flat 44 meter radius, Deathslinger could use it. Hag could use it, so you get a little bit of mind games for the slower killers in the game. I think that's neat. To counteract that big old buff of a 44 meter terror radius, which I think is basically all of Midwich. To counteract that, it's a flat 40% heal speed penalty instead of the 50. So I think we just changed some numbers around, right? And finally, the biggest brain one I have ever thought of. Monolith Shrine. Which they are also changing. Noed and Monolith Shrine are getting changes, and I am glued to my screen when that patch drops. When those notes drop of what they are changing, how they're changing it, bruh, I'm excited. I am excited. Currently, Monolith Shrine buffs basement hooks, gives it a 9% faster entity progress bar, I think a 15% difficulty to escape attempts, and a 9% fail penalty, like additional 9% of your fail escape. My buff, my change, my big brain, big dick move is all hooks gain that 9% faster entity progress. Only basement hooks get the difficulty and fail penalty, but every hook in the trial gains 9% faster entity progress. So if you're going to save your friends, you better be fast. Now, this would only apply to stage 1. So the first hook, the second hook, same time, same as normal, but it adds 9% faster entity progress on that first hook. That puts some pressure on the survivors. And I think that's pretty good. That will encourage a lot of altruism a lot quicker, I think. And I know you hear that, you 9% faster entity progress, that seems like a lot. It is a lot to go from stage 1 to stage 2, 9% faster. That's a lot, but do not fret. A little look ahead to the survivor video. I have not 1, but 2 changes to slippery meat. 1, I think, would counteract it, kind of. But you'll have to wait for that one. So, right now, those are my changes. There are a few that I could see behavior doing, right? I could see them doing the pop change I suggested. I could see them doing the ruin change. I could see them making the blood point bonus base kit, as Pixel Bush recommended on Twitter. I could see the pain resonance change happening. I could see the Tinkerer change happening. By God, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with NOED. Overcharge is on that list. I don't know if I'll call that one right. They might just completely rework that one. God knows. Coulrophobia is on that list. Again, God knows what they're gonna do with it. Monolith Shrine is on that list. Again, what the hell are they gonna change about Monolith Shrine? Hopefully it is not just basement hooks that are affected by this perk, because it is I think it is the least used perk out of all the killer perks. There are some pretty bad ones, like Territorial Imperative. I would like to see the Venn diagram of Territorial Imperative used along with Monolith Shrine. How many builds are using both of those for meme trapper loadouts? I wonder. But like I said at the beginning of the video, we're going to be calling back to this one. We're going to be comparing notes between what I got right against what behavior did. I can't wait for their notes to drop when they decide to release those things. I don't believe it will be mid-chapter, because that will coincide with the Prestige rework. Although, that would be a damn good time to drop it, because everybody's going to be prestiging their killers, so every killer and every survivor has everybody's perks on them. So maybe you might want to think twice about unlocking a certain killer's perks for everybody. I don't know. Maybe it happens mid-July update with the Prestige rework. I don't know. Because I could have sworn they were like, it's going to happen later in the year. I didn't think it was going to happen like 6 weeks after the chapter dropped. But who knows? But for now, that will do it. Part 1 is done. Part 2 will come a little bit later after this one. Again, that has 20 full survivor perks. And spoilers, it is split down the middle, 10 buffs, 10 nerfs. So, and I don't think I'm too hard on the nerfs. I think I'm pretty good with the buffs, right? That's where I'm kind of sitting. I'm just looking at my notes, what I have written down, my recommendations. I think it could be good. I think I'm not too overly heavy on nerfs, or at least hitting perks really hard. But you'll have to wait and see. But for now, if you agreed with anything I said, hook the like button, more the subscribe button, bing bong that bell, and until next time, I will see you in the fog. Good luck.